All right, we're here with Rock Plaza Central, or some portion thereof. We've got people riding down the street. We always get we get people driving by yelling stuff and all that kind of stuff. So why don't you guys say hello and introduce yourselves to the Boston Band Crush audience?
Well, hello, I'm Scott. I play bass with Rock Plaza Central.
And I'm Chris, and I also play with Rock Plaza Central. Hello, Boston Crush. Boston Band Crush, sorry.
Boston Band Crush. So there's a rumor that we just heard that you have a new album coming out momentarily in the U.S. Is this a correct rumor?
The album was officially released in Canada this past week, but isn't going to be released in Canada in the States until June 16th. So. Yeah, look for it. It's gonna. We have it on with us on tour right now, but it's.
And what's the name of the record?
It's got various names. The depending on what you believe is official, it's either called "At the Moment of Our Most Needing," or "At the Moment of Our Most Needing," or sorry, that's gonna be really confusing. There's a long title out there somewhere that's "At the Moment of Our Most Needing," or "If Only They Could Turn Around, They Would Know They Weren't Alone," and it's all true. It's some combination of those facts.
I like that. I like that.
Needing.
Does it? So I don't want to make you feel like I'm comparing you to Tolkien or Harry Potter or something like that. But there's a sort of fantastic element to a lot of the kind of the prior work. And there's a sort of underlying set of themes and threads that are kind of woven through it.
Yeah.
I guess my question is, does this sort of continue along that thread, or is it kind of drawn from a totally new world?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not this. It's funny just doing an interview after Scott and I just had a dinner where he says I make everything up, and I never tell the truth in these things.
That's fine.
But
I'm happy with that.
It's not a.
What I actually said is that history writes itself as we go along. It's not necessarily based on what happened, but it becomes apocryphal after the fact, right?
So I was telling a very wonderful story about Scott that he says did not happen, and in my mind it happened. So it's as good as happened.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, anything you say on here is truth.
Absolutely.
So feel free to.
As soon as it's on video,
I don't know any better, and the people out there don't know any better. They just have to take your statements as true. So you have at this moment the stage to declare any truth about this.
The album is not a continuation of the Horses story, which was a continuation of an Angel's story before that.
Right.
It didn't feel right anymore. I mean, there could have been a completion of the trilogy, I suppose, and the humans could have gotten their say finally or something. But I think they got little bits of their say as the whole story went along. So. We're looking for a while for some kind of inspiration, and it came from a book by Faulkner that was kind of about people going off and following their dreams, even though their dreams might, in many cases, was not a good thing for them to follow. So it's about leaving your home, and then wondering if you should have left your home.
That makes good sense. Yeah, I think, even if it's true or not, it makes good sense.
With that.
Yeah, I mean, your home's a good place. It's really great to be home, but it's I guess you got to figure out what home is, because home isn't always a place. Home is sometimes the people you're with. Like often,
state of mind.
Yeah, often I'm just being in the van feels like home, because possibly I spend more time there than anywhere else.
That's probably a theme that rings very true for touring artists especially, and I know you tour a reasonable amount at least.
Yeah, and touring is really hard, and I'm sure that came up a lot, because for Horses we hadn't really toured that much beforehand, and we've toured a lot since, and so that tends to come up. And I didn't really want to write a touring album, because everybody does that. They have some album that gets
the road album
successful,
or
and then they come back and they go, oh, touring so hard.
One of the things that a lot of people said about Horses, though, was that you talk about the themes that are in there of the angels and the mechanical horses and all that, but the songs don't necessarily need to apply to that theme. And I feel the same way about this record too, regardless of the inspiration of the album.
Awesome, baby! Yeah!
Is it your favorite record?
Italia!
Italia, yeah, man.
These guys, rock stars right here.
What's your name? What's your name?
Scott, what's
Scott,
yours?
my name's William Dwyer. How's it
Yeah.
going? And a band called Neon God, baby. We fucking rock. Yeah, baby.
Are you local?
Awesome.
Are you
Oh, yeah.
local? Check out
I'm
Boston Band Crush. Boston Band Crush. That's
alright.
what that's what you're being filmed for.
Neon God.
All right,
brothers.
Neon God.
You got a
The-
band
the-
shirt on you, man?
No, I don't.
Oh man, you could have given it to me.
He's
before
hijacked.
tonight.
He's hijacked the interview. This is the kind of stuff that happens on the corner here, which is why I like this place. I think it's
That
kind
was
of fun.
awesome.
Anyway, continuing.
I think what I was
The corner. Yeah, I should call this
I
sort
can't
of
remember his band anymore.
Neon God.
God.
You'll be able to see the interview.
Yeah.
I won't edit this at all, so it'll be just totally straight. I think
good.
that's the people need to see how it goes down.
Well, should we run down the street, Matt?
So
yeah, regardless of what the inspiration for the record was or the theme for
Right.
the record might be, there still is a collection of songs that are loosely linked around a theme, you might say.
right.
Yeah.
And that I think are just kind of, the details. It's hard to explain this really, but the details to me aren't always as important as the general overall feeling of it.
Right.
And so people heard about the last record being about robotic horses and thought that was silly and stuff, but
Who said it was silly?
yeah.
Who said it was
We got correspondent Kevin Riley here. No. He's
But what it comes down to, I think, is that underlying emotion that whether you're a robotic horse or something else, you sometimes question what you are, and so that I think that's what resonated with people. And
Right.
as Scott's saying with this one, it's got a lot of different source material to sort of build it up, and certainly it has to do with a little bit with touring or a little bit with. I'm from this small town in New Brunswick, and often wonder if it'd be better to be living back in this small town in Brunswick instead of a big city of Toronto. And
Right.
That was the point I was trying to make, was it's almost unavoidable that the rigors of touring and the experiences of being the band that we are now as to what we were 3 years ago, it's unavoidable that is going to come into the album thematically somehow.
But I guess it really is. It's about some shit is really hard to deal with, and you can do it.